Welcome to the Mystic Messenger. I'm your host, the Mystic, and in today's podcast, we are going to talk about the hidden language of God written on your hands. What if I told you the map to your soul, the proof of your divine lineage, the portal to your multidimensional memory was right in front of you the whole time? Not in the stars, not in the heavens, but in lines, ridges, and patterns on the palms of your hands. You were born with it. You've touched people with it. You've prayed with it. You've covered your face in grief with it. But you've probably never realized you're carrying a cosmic key in every gesture, and they've kept this from you. Let's begin. Your hands are not random appendages for labor or movement. They are sacred instruments, microcosms of your entire being. In ancient esoteric teachings, hidden from the masses and preserved only in secret order, it was understood that the human hand is a mirror of the tree of life. Each finger represents a spiritual force. Each palm line corresponds with a soul contract, incarnational memory, and energetic circuitry. Your dominant hand, which is usually the right, is the map of your current life, what you're doing with your free will. Your non-dominant hand, usually the left, is the soul imprint, your blueprint, your origin, your soul's intentions. Now, here's where it gets deeper. Your fingerprints are vibrational codes. They are formed in the womb by the pressure of the amniotic fluid, which interacts with your soul's energetic frequency to create an unrepeatable pattern. Nobody has the same fingerprints. No two humans in history, past or future, have the same fingerprints. Why, you may ask? Because fingerprints are the soul's seal, a vibrational stamp from the higher realms proving that you are incarnating a unique frequency of source. Mystery schools taught that the whorls, the loops, and the arches on your fingers are DNA activation glyphs. They are not for identification by the police. They are for identification by light. Have you ever noticed that many meditative or religious positions involve touching your fingers? Think, index to thumb, middle to thumb, palms pressed together. This is no coincidence. Each finger holds meridian energy connected to specific chakras and organs. When you press two fingers together, you create an electrical feedback loop, a circuit that activates energy centers and aligns frequencies. In Vedic knowledge, the mudras, which are hand gestures, are not symbolic. They are energetic technologies. The thumb represents divine consciousness, which is fire. The index finger represents the ego, which is air. When you touch the two together, as in Gyan Mudra, you are bringing the ego into union with Source. These are sacred switches. When used consciously, mudras activate dormant parts of the brain, regulate the nervous system, and unlock higher memory. What the elites don't want you to know. Why would something as simple as your hand pose a threat to those in power? Because if humanity remembered that the body is a divine instrument, we would stop outsourcing our power. We would stop obeying false systems of control. We would remember we are sovereign creators coded with divine intelligence. Your hand contains 4 sacred mounts relating to the planetary bodies, 3 major lines, life, heart, and head, minor lines showing trauma, past lives, psychic gifts, or divine contracts, hidden sacred symbols encrypted in the skin texture over time, and perhaps most intriguingly, some of you have the mystic marks, symbols that no one taught you to look for. Let's explore those next. Let's talk about something the mainstream has no language for. Something you may have noticed on your hand and wondered about. The letter M. The letter X. Etched in the skin of your palm like a secret message left by the divine. Those are not random. Those are not coincidences. These are soul glyphs, markings left behind by spiritual lineage, divine mission, and celestial coding. And here's what most people don't know. The M and the X are both Elohim marks. What is the M on the palm, you may ask? Many people, especially those on the spiritual path, have an M formed by the convergence of the head line, heart line, lifeline, and a deep fate line of influence line. When these lines intersect in just the right way, they form a perfect M. This symbol has shown up in palmistry, Kabbalistic lore, and ancient Semitic scripts, where Mem is the 13th letter of the Hebrew alphabet, associated with water, divine flow, mystery, and womb consciousness. But in hidden esoteric traditions, the M also stood for mystic, messenger, manifester, and mother matrix. The M is often found on the palms of those who are incarnated teachers, truth revealers, or guardians of sacred knowledge. They are here to birth new templates into the collective, often through love, pain, alchemy, or teaching. It's said those with the M are watched by spirit. They cannot lie to themselves for long. They are bound to truth, and eventually it will erupt from them, whether through voice, art, creation, or collapse. What about the X? The X is even rarer to find. In secret societies, it was known as the mark of the elect. It may appear at the base of the thumb, across the palm, or floating near the center. Some people have it between the head and heart line, others over the Mount of Mars. The X is an activation, sigil. Where it appears, it acts like a karmic hotspot, a location on your palm where divine power, past life residue, or untrapped soul memory resides. In ancient Egyptian texts, the X was the crossing of two worlds, the visible and the invisible, the body and the Ka, which is spirit. Some say it marks the soul of Elohim, beings of divine intelligence who seeded light into matter and returned across generations to awaken humanity. If you have both the M and the X, you are likely what mystics call a light architect, here to rewrite the template of Earth through energetic presence and sacred action. There are other rare symbols that people do not talk about. Now let's go deeper into this. Here are a few rare but powerful symbols found on the palms. The healer's mark. 4 or more vertical lines under the pinky finger, which is the Mount of Mercury. This suggests a healer's soul contract, particularly with communication or intuitive medicine. The psychic cross, a small cross on the Mount of Jupiter, which is under the index finger, signifies strong intuition, past life as seer, and ability to sense energetic truth without proof. Triangle on the Mount of the Moon. This is deeply empathetic, intuitive, and often linked to starseed energy or those who channel galactic intelligence. The Ring of Solomon, a curved line around the base of the index finger, signifies wisdom, leadership in spiritual hierarchies, and soul teaching roles across timelines. These signs are portals. They mark where divine intelligence was encoded in your physical form. You are not just walking around with a body. You are walking around with a library of ancient truths in your skin. What if I told you your hand is a map of the universe? That your palm carries the geometry of the stars, the tree of life, and the divine signature of your own soul? Not metaphorically, literally. Your body is not just flesh and bone. It's architecture, sacred, intentional, and encoded. And your hand is the master key. Let's begin with something ancient. The golden ratio, or pi, 1.618, is the mathematical blueprint found in spiral galaxies, nautilus shells, flower petals, DNA helixes, and the human hand. The length of your fingers to palm, and even the spacing of your knuckles, all follow this divine proportion. This means your hand is a microcosm of the universe itself. Each finger corresponds to a planetary archetype. The thumb is Mars, its will in action. The index finger is Jupiter, its expansion and leadership. The middle is Saturn, its karma, time, and structure. The ring finger, the sun, soul power and radiance. The pinky, Mercury, communication and intuition. When you curl them in meditation or touch finger to finger, you're not just making a gesture. You're activating planetary consciousness within your nervous system. And when you spread your palm, you mirror the tree of life, the 5-pointed star, and the sacred geometry of light beings across dimensions. Your palm holds more than lines. It holds pathways. The tree of life, the Kabbalah, contains 10 Sephiroth, spheres of divine emanation. These correlate to energy centers in your body and also map perfectly onto the palm when overlaid. Kether is the crown. It aligns with the center of the palm. Chakra is wisdom. Bina, understanding, align with the base of your index and pinky fingers. The pathways between them resemble the lines in your hand, head, heart, life, and fate. Those random lines are actually the blueprint of your soul's contract. Your headline shows the trajectory of your divine thinking. The heart line is not just about love, it's about emotional frequency bandwidth. And your lifeline is a marker of your energetic mission, not your years. This hand, your hand, carries the record of your descent into matter. And if you trace it with presence, it will reveal your way out. Now, the mudra they never taught you. While many focus on the popular gestures of yoga, one of the most esoterically powerful mudras is almost completely unknown. It's called Kalsavara Mudra, the mudra of soul transformation. How to do it? Let me try to explain this. Bring the tips of your middle fingers together. Touch your thumb pads together. Fold in the remaining fingers so they touch each other like a mirrored prayer pose. Point the middle fingers upward, thumbs downward. It looks kind of like a temple. Hold this at your heart or third eye. This mudra does several things. It slows down time perception, clears emotional patterns and addictions, activates soul memory and higher mind awareness, signals your energy body that you are ready to shift timelines. When you hold the Kalsavara Mudra while breathing into your third eye, you're telling your soul, I remember who I am. I am ready to transmute. I am no longer ruled by illusion. The elite do not want this. They want reactive, fast-paced, addicted minds. But this mudra, it slows time so you can step out of the program. Use it during meditation. Use it during emotional spirals. Use it when you're ready to change everything. Let this sink in. You've touched, reached, held, and healed with these hands in many lifetimes. Each fingerprint is a glyph. Each gesture is a portal. Each palm carries the mark of God. Your hands are your lineage, your legacy, your light. Let's begin with a question no one probably has ever asked you. Have you ever looked at your palm and noticed an X? Or the letter M formed by intersecting lines? Have you ever felt that your hands hold a mystery, one you could never quite explain? The elites know this. The mystery schools knew this. And today, so will you. The M on the palm is the mark of the messenger. So let's start with the M in more detail. On many hands, particularly old souls, light workers, and messengers, there is an unmistakable M formed by the heart line, headline, lifeline, and sometimes a fate line or connected bridge line. This M isn't random. It is the symbol of the mystic messenger, the mother of wisdom, and the missioned one, all interpretations hidden in ancient esoteric systems. In palmistry, those with the M are truth seers and truth speakers, able to detect lies and energetic deception instantly, born to awaken collective memory. But the real mystery is that this symbol predates palmistry. In ancient Lemuria and early esoteric Judaism, the M was a hidden sigil of the Elohim's chosen scribes, those tasked with recording and remembering the sacred flame within mankind. The M is the messenger's seal. If you have it, your hands are not just hands. They are scrolls. You came here to write a new path into Earth's timeline. The X. This is the crossroads of fate and divine guardianship. Now for the X. This one is even rarer. Some have it on one hand, fewer have it on both. It usually forms near the center of the palm or crosses major lines, sometimes intersecting fate and heart. The X is a karmic sigil. Historically, it appears on the palms of leaders of divine revolution, soul protectors, guardians of hidden truth. In ancient Egypt, an X marked on the hands of the high priestess or high initiate, the ones who had passed through fire and shadow and returned with the divine memory intact. In the Book of Enoch, it was believed that angels who bore witness to human truth had this mark, a crossroads sigil that could not be erased across timelines. Its protection. In modern biometric studies, forensic scientists are baffled. Palms with an X pattern exhibit stronger fingerprint ridge densities, suggesting more electrical signal in these hands. Energetically, the X indicates a life of fated encounters and soul-aligned service, extreme tests of moral courage and truth, a calling that cannot be refused without consequence. This is not symbolic. It's encoded into the fascia, the electrical system of your being. The X is not a scar. It's a sign. It means your soul chose the mission before the veil dropped. So let's go a little deeper with some of the ones I mentioned that are not talked about. Here are the other markings most people never notice, or are never taught to interpret. The healer's cross. A small cross under the ring finger, often associated with natural energy healers, mediums, and those able to work with unseen frequencies. The mystic triangle. It's a triangle near the base of the index or thumb, signals a soul who's mastered ancient knowledge in prior lives and came back to reawaken it. The psychic star. A 6-pointed star formed near the mount of Luna. It's your outer palm below the pinky. Indicates interdimensional memory, starseed lineage, and prophetic dreams. The teacher's square. A perfect square near the mount of Jupiter, which is the base of the index finger. Someone born to teach spiritual principles that shift collective systems. These signs can appear, fade, or grow stronger during spiritual awakening, trauma healing, or activation periods. So pay attention to your hands, not just your eyes, when you're awakening. Your hands change as your soul awakens. This is why palm reading is more than prediction, it's a map of evolution. The elites have always known this truth. Your hands are divine keys. That's why they censor mudras, disconnect you from touch and presence, flood your hands with technology and distraction, cover sacred palmistry with superstition or mockery. Because the moment you begin studying your own hands, you start remembering that your body is a book, and that no one else has the authority over your blueprint. If you have these signs, it's not random. You are part of the divine relay, a lineage of souls who chose to carry memory in the flesh, and who are here now to reactivate the codes dormant in others. Every time you hold another's hand, you send a frequency. Every time you make a mudra, you form a portal. You are not powerless. You are a circuit of light encoded at the fingertips. Let's go back. Let's go way back. In ancient initiations across Kemet, Lemuria, Sumeria, and the Essene Brotherhood, the laying on of hands wasn't a metaphor. It was literal. The master touched the initiate, palm to third eye, palm to heart, palm to palm, and something awakened, something remembered. Because encoded in our hands is an electromagnetic charge that can transmit light frequency, awaken dormant DNA, and unlock soul memory. When the palms touch, we create a closed loop, an electrical circuit of remembrance. That's why ancient healers never used tools. They were the tool, and the key was in the hand. Think about this. When you press your palm to another's, you activate the fingerprint codes of both souls, the 5 planetary energies of the fingers, the Merkaba field via mirror geometry, and the heart field, which amplifies 60 times more than the brain. Now, touch, when done with presence and intention, becomes a portal. This is why you can feel someone's pain or peace just by holding their hand. It's also why trauma survivors may fear or reject touch. Their system knows it's powerful. Touch bypasses ego. It goes straight to the blueprint. Your skin is not just a barrier, it's a transmitter and a receiver. Your palms especially contain Merkle cells, which is sensory light receptors, piezoelectric crystals, yes, biological quartz, and nerve endings linked directly to your limbic system, the memory of emotion. When 2 souls touch palms intentionally, especially with matching frequencies, it can result in DNA strand activation, cell level healing, spontaneous memory retrieval, or past life or cosmic origins. This is the science behind the spiritual truth of healing touch. So, if you haven't noticed, the person that you call your twin flame has very similar or identical palmistry to you on the opposite hands. So when you hold hands, your right hand and their left hand, the symbols and signs match. When you hold their left hand, your left hand and their right hand, the signs and symbols match. Just something to look at when you look at your partner. So, when 2 souls touch the palms intentionally, it is very, very powerful. Let's break something wide open. In ancient priestess temples, both male and female initiates were anointed not with oil first, but with this touch. The priestesses would place one hand at the heart, one at the back of the neck or third eye. She was not transferring her energy, but reactivating the initiate's original soul code. This sacred touch is the missing link in today's spiritual practices. We're doing energy work without anchoring it in the body. We're saying mantras, but not embodying frequency. We're meditating, but not transmitting. But when you touch another being, especially palm to palm, you remind their body, you are not broken, you are encoded, and I see you. When 2 counterparts meet, especially sacred mirrors or twin flames, their first touch is often overwhelming. Have you ever touched someone and felt a heat in your hands, or a trembling, or a vortex sensation? That wasn't emotion. That was data transfer. When soul counterparts touch, encoded light language is exchanged, cellular trauma release is triggered, dormant soul contracts are activated, and in some cases, new timelines are unlocked. It's not just chemistry, it's divine circuitry coming online. So, your hands are holy. They carry stories of lifetimes and light codes waiting to be awakened. The next time you reach out to touch someone, ask yourself, am I just holding their hand, or am I holding their soul? Because the truth is, the right touch at the right time can resurrect memory, purpose, and light. And maybe that's what we're here to do for one another. Reactivate the forgotten light through simplest gestures of all. A touch, a palm, a portal.